Okay, we're going to finish up the problem that we started in class. So all I have to do is solve it algebraically. Now, so I came up with y is equal to 25 over 4 minus 3/4 x, and I'm going to substitute that in to x squared plus y squared equals 25. Right there. So we get x squared plus 25 over 4 minus 3/4 x quantity squared equals 25. So 25 fourths times 25 fourths is 625 over 16. Then I have to do the two middle ones, which are negative 75/16 x minus 75/16 x, and then the last terms, that's plus 9/16 x squared, and that equals 25. So if I just make this 16 over 16 and put this as 16 over 16, remember, the fractional equations, our denominators will drop. So we really just have 25x squared, 16x squared, and 9x squared. And then negative 75 and negative 75 is minus 150x. And then plus 625 minus 25 times 16. And so that all simplifies to 25x squared minus 150x plus 225. If we factor out a 25, we get x squared minus 6x plus 9. And factor that, x minus 3 quantity squared equals 0. 25 would have just dropped or divided out. So we get x is equal to 3. And then if you substitute that back into x squared plus y squared equals 25, you'd get 3 squared plus y squared equals 25. And you'd end up with y is equal to 9. You'd get y squared is equal to 16. So y is equal to either plus or minus 4. But from our graph, it cannot be the negative 4. That's why you need both, because is it 3 comma 4 or 3 comma negative 4? From the graph, we found that the intersection was at 3, 4. So that's the answer to that one. Go to the next page. All right, and if the following systems has exactly one solution, what is the value of k? So I set the two y's equal. K is equal to 5 minus x minus 3 quantity squared. And then k is equal to 5 minus x squared minus 6x plus 9. If you FOIL that, which is 5 minus x squared plus 6x minus 9, so it's negative x squared plus 6x minus 4. So I'm going to do that, and so I can get the graph of this. It's going to be an upside down parabola, so I need to graph that as such. So let's see. Okay, so this actually I think is going to be a harder way to do this, so let's backtrack here. Let's not do the completing the square because of that negative x squared. Let's instead take and do something else. So there we go again. Let's use the vertex x equals, let's find that axis of symmetry, negative b over 2a. That's the formula to find the x coordinate using the axis of symmetry. So that would be negative 6 over 2 times negative 1. So the x coordinate of the vertex is 3. And then you need to plug that back in to find y. So y equals 5 minus 3 squared. So that's just going to be 0 squared. 5 minus 0 is 5. So the vertex is at 3, 5. Okay? And we can kind of tell that just based on the original problem. It's kind of in that vertex form. So if I go over 3 and up 5, then I'd have, remember you've got a negative x squared, so it's going to be pointing down. So it's going to be over 1, down 1 in both directions, over 2, down 4, and over 3, down 9. It's just a transformation of that parent function. So if we are supposed to intersect y equals k in exactly one solution, y equals k has to be a horizontal line. If it's not horizontal, then it's going to intersect it in more than one place. So if we have y equals 5, so therefore k equals 5, then it will intersect in one point. Okay, the next one, solve algebraically. A football player kicks a football downfield. The height of the football is given by the equation. H is the height in feet and t is the time in seconds. Rounding to the nearest hundredth, how many seconds after the ball is kicked is it exactly 100 feet from the ground? So this is negative 16t squared plus 88t plus 2, the height of the football. And when it is 100 feet from the ground, then that means that the height is equal to 100. So I substitute in, and I should set these equal to each other. So negative 16t squared plus 88t plus 22 equals 100. So negative 16t squared plus 88t minus, it's not plus 22, it's minus 98 equals 0. This does not, let's see, we can factor out a negative 2. So I'd have 8t squared plus 44, actually minus 44t, and then plus 49. So the negative 2 is going to divide out. So this does not factor, so I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So t equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'd have 44 plus or minus. So let's see, 44 squared is 1936. 4 times 8 times 49 is 1568. So 1936 minus 1568 is 368. But you're not going to want to get a negative here. And the square root of 368 is 19. So we're only going to consider the positive value because we're talking about a real life problem. So t is equal to, just do 44 plus the square root of 368, enter, and then divide by 16. And I get 3.95. So rounding this down, how many seconds is it exactly? Seconds. So t would be seconds. Height is h. So it's approximately 3.95 seconds. Okay, number 9. Find all solutions. Okay, so on this one, what we want to do is a little bit of completing the square again. So x squared minus 2x plus blank plus y squared minus 2y plus blank equals 3. So bring the negative 3 over because we need to put it in. We need to get to put it in, it's a circle. So half of 2, oops, I need another plus blank over here and plus blank over there. Okay, so half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1. So that's what we are adding to both sides. So then this one, the first one factors to x minus 1 quantity squared. The next one factors to y minus 1 quantity squared. And that radius is 5. Well, r squared is 5. So we have a circle who has a center at 1, 1, and the radius is equal to the square root of 5. So the square root of 5 is about 2.23. So graphically, this might, hopefully we'll make it work out algebraically because it's going to be a little bit difficult graphically. So let's take this as my x and this as my y. So over 1, up 1, and then from there a little bit 2.2-ish, 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 2.2-ish. Okay, and then the line is just 2y equals negative x, so y equals negative 1/2 x. So we would start at 0 and go up 1 and over 2. And so it would be over 2, down 1. Okay, so I'm trying to connect this. Okay, so there's my two answers. Difficult to get on the graph. So algebraically, at least we can kind of see where they are, see if they make sense. So for algebraically, I'm going to take this back and substitute in y equals negative 1/2 x in for y. Okay, so the algebraic part is going to be x squared minus 2x plus negative 1/2 x squared minus 2 times negative 1/2 x minus 3 equals 0. Substitution here. All right, and then that's x squared minus 2x plus 1/4 x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. So then from there, I'm going to say x squared plus 1/4 x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. So I get 4x squared plus x squared minus 4x minus 12. So that's really 5x squared minus 4x minus 12. All right, and doing a little bit of the factoring there, it's going to be 5x squared. Let's see, 12 and 5 give me what? So negative 60, so I need negative 60 to equal 4. So there we go, 10 and 6. Should have seen that right away. So that's negative 10 and 6. Okay, so 5x squared minus 10x plus 6x minus 12. Factor out of 5x, I get x minus 2. Factor out of 6, I get x minus 2. My factors are 5x plus 6 and x minus 2. So I get x is equal to negative 6/5 and x is equal to 2. So that should make some sense. And then from there, I'm just going to plug in to find y. So let's see, easy, yes, x plus 2y equals 0. So 2 plus 2y equals 0. So 2y equals negative 2. Y is negative 1. So 2, negative 1 is this intersection right here. And then on the other one, for negative 6/5, it's x plus 2y equals 0. So negative 6/5 plus 2y equals 0. 2y equals 6 over 5. 10y equals 6. Y equals 6/10, or 3/5. So this coordinate is negative 6 over 5, 3 over 5. And so that's also what this point is, and this one was the one that was really difficult to tell what the intersection was. All right, one last one. Parabola and circle. So we have y equals x squared minus 2. Okay, so x squared minus 2, we are just going to plug that in to there. So we have x squared plus x squared minus 2 squared equals 4. So x squared plus x to the 4th minus 2x squared minus 2x squared, which would be minus 4x squared, plus 4. So we have x to the 4th minus 3x squared equals 0, because those are going to go. So we take out an x squared, and we're left with x squared minus 3. So we get x squared equals 0, which means x is 0, and x squared is 3, which means that x could be radical 3 or negative radical 3. So we can get an idea here by graphically doing this. So x and y. So here's my circle. And then y equals x squared minus 2 is basically down here at 0, negative 2, and then you go over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. It's just a translation down 2. and then over to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see one of the points is 0. It looks like there's going to be 3 intersection points. So let's go back and find them then. So when x is 0, then y is equal to 0 squared minus 2. Y is equal to negative 2. So 0, negative 2. When x is radical 3, we have y equals radical 3 squared minus 2. So y is equal to 3 minus 2, or y is equal to 1. So it's radical 3, 1. Okay? So that one I didn't draw very well. The other one looks, actually this one is radical 3, 1. Yeah, you can see that. And then the negative one would be the same exact thing. Because when you square that negative, you get the positive. So we get negative radical 3, 1. So there's the 3 intersections. Okay, thank you. Have a good night.